السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. I welcome you all to the class of Arabiyya Bayna Yadayk. And today we are in the fourth part of our lesson, unit al-Wahdat al-Sabi'a, unit 7. And inshallah, we'll continue with the fourth part. Al-Arabiyyatu lughatun alamiyyatun. Arabic is a global language. Alamiyya, global language. تهيئة preparation. فكر في الإجابة عن أسئلة التالية. Uh, uh, think about the في الإجابة عن الأسئلة التالية. Think about the answers of the following questions. في أي عصر كانت العربية لغة عالمية? In which century or in which time? عصر could mean century or time. Right? In which time or some, I think عصر. Yeah, let me check what they colloquially translate as. Yeah, period. Period is more correct. In which period was the Arabic لغة عالمية a global language? في أي عصر كانت العربية؟ هل اقترضت لغات أوروبا ألفاظا من اللغة العربية؟ Did the European language borrow words from the Arabic language? ما أهداف الاستعمار الثقافي? What are the goals of استعمار الثقافي? Is building, I think. استعمار الثقافي, some technical word. Cultural colonization. استعمار is colonization. So what are the goals? Hadaf means goal. Ahdaf is the goals. So what are the goals of cultural colonization? هل العربية لغة عالمية الآن? Is Arabic a global language now? So this is the lesson. So this is the Alam al-Islami, the Islamic world. Kashmir, they included Kashmiras. Kashmir, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenia, this is what? Uzbekistan. This is, I don't know what this is. Uh, Turkmenia, Turkmenistan, Iran, Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Urdun, right? Palestine, Lebanon, Saudiya, Kuwait, this is Amman, and this is Yemen, Oman, right? Somal, Tanzania, Zambia, Ethiopia, Sudan, Misr, Libya, Chad, this is called Niger and Nigeria, Mali, Mauritania, all African countries. This is all uh, uh, Islamic world. The Islamic world. كانت اللغة العربية لغة عالمية في العصر العباسي. Arabic language was a global language in the Abbasid era. You can say Abbasid period also. In the Abbasid era, right? Abbasid era started after the Umayyad era, right? After the Umayyad era, it started like after 100 years, 120 something, I think, of Hijri, some 100 years. Let me check Abbasi era. I don't know the exact date because in 100 was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. So it started in Abbasid dynasty. Oh, I'm not able to find the Hijri year. So around 100 something. Okay. So in the Abbasid era, Mhm. The Arabic language was a global language. الذي ازدهرت فيه الحضارة الإسلامية, in which ازدهر يزدهر from it. This is from it. You don't see a ta here because there's a rule that for za and dal, dal, zai, that is this za, the ta will be changed into a dal. So it was izdaharat. Because it's so difficult to say, they change it into izdaharat. Hmm? Izdaharat. You might get confused that which form is this and so on. This is form 8. Okay. And there are two or three rules like this where the change comes, like tod, ta, fa, wa, dod. What happens? The ta changes into a ta, like Mustafa. Hmm? Similarly, here, izdaharat became izdaharat. Is to spread. Istahara is to spread, from what I know, right? Is dahara, right? Flourish, you could say. Yeah, flourish is more correct. In which the Islamic civilization, hadara is civilization, in which the Islamic civilization flourished, right? So in the Abbasid era. So this, he says, كانت اللغة العربية لغة عالمية في العصر العباسي. In the Abbasid era, Arabic language was a global language in which flourished the Islamic civilization. وكانت العربية لغة تلك الحضارة التي ترجمت إليها الكتب من اليونانية والفارسية. And Arabic was the language of that civilization, in which التي ترجمت, ترجمة يترجم, this is majhul, ترجمت, and turjima, muannas again, turjima. This is rubai, four letter verb. Tarjama, yutarjimu. And then tarjama is made into fu'lila. So turjima, it's majhul. Turjimat ilayha, in which many books were translated into it. Minal Yunaniya. What is Yunan? From Greek books. Wal Farisiya, and Persian books. So Persian and Greek books used to be translated into Arabic. وَأَلَّفَ بِهَا الْعُلَمَاءُ فِي الطِّبِّ. Right? And scholars have written, أَلَّفَ يُؤَلِّفُ, to write or compile, in medicine in Arabic. وَالْهَندَسَةِ, engineering. وَالرِّيَاضِيَات, and mathematics. وَالْعُلُومِ, and sciences. وَغَيْرِ ذَلِكَ, etc., etc. And other than that, right? So Arabic was the main language in which all of these things happened, right? They used to write medicine and so on and so on, all these subjects, engineering, maths, and so on. وحملت اللغة العربية تلك العلوم إلى أوروبا. Mm. And Arabic language carried, so the Arabic language carried these sciences to Europe. So because of the Arabic language, um, these sciences were carried to Europe. فكانت أساس الحضارة الغريبية الحديثة. And it was the foundation. Asas is foundation, right? Basis, yeah, basis, foundation, ground, uh, foundation of the civilization, غريبية الحديثة, of this strange new civilization. Arabic was the foundation. Hadith is the new. غريبية is the strange, you could say. Asas al hadari, strange or foreign, foreign, right? Alien civilization. Al hadithati, new. So if any new, right, or you can say modern, it was the haditha could be modern also, right? So this was, Arabic was the foundation for the modern alien civilization, modern foreign civilization. Gharibiyya is strange, or something which is foreign. Gharib, ghuraba, strangers. مرت بالعربي بعد ذلك عصور من الضعف, right? A lot of periods of time passed by the Arabs, من الضعف, ضعف, which had weakness. من الضعف, there was a lot of weakness, right? Muslims were not strong. اب- ابتعدوا فيها عن دينهم. ابتعدوا like بعد. They went far away from their religion. وهجروا اللغة العربية الفصيحة. And they left. Hajara is to do hijrah. They migrated from the Arabic language, al-Fasiha, the Fusha language, the classical language. واستعملوا اللهجات, and they started using dialects, right? So this, they moved away from the correct language, from the fasih language, started using dialects. Lahjatun is a dialect, lahjat, dialects. ثم جاء الاستعمار, and then came the colonization. استعمار, British colonization, 200, 300 years, 400 years, whatever. فحارب الثقافة الإسلامية. Is it, is it غربية? Oh, maybe, yeah. It could be, yes. Yes, correct. It is غربية, correct. نعم, it's not غريبية. It is غربية, Western. And it was the foundation of the Western new civilization. نعم. نعم, غربية. Modern Western civilization, you could say. Correct. Jazakallahu Khairan. Yes, I read it as غريبية. نعم. نعم, غربية. Correct. نعم. أحسنت. Uh, so where were we? فجاء الاستعمار. Yes, this is Western, modern Western civilization. Okay. That's what I read it wrong. عفوا. ثم جاء الاستعمار, then the colonization came. فحارب الثقافة الإسلامية, and then they waged the war. حارب يحارب, you could say. They waged the war, they fought the Islamic civilization for colonize, yeah, in the colonies. واللغة العربية, and Arabic language. They fought, they waged the war against Arabic language. الفصيحة, mm, the Fusha language. وشجع اللهجات, and they encourage. شجع يشجع is to encourage. شجع is to encourage. They encourage the dialects because divide and rule. Right? That's what their policy was. If Muslims, everyone understood the Fusha, then they would be united easily. So they promoted the dialects and encouraged. شجع يشجع. تشجيعا is, تشجيع is the master, right? Form 2. تفعيل, باب تفعيل. فكانت هناك لهجة مصرية. So there was an Egyptian dialect. وأخرى مغربية, and another Moroccan dialect. Maghrib is the Morocco, huh? Where is Maghrib? Here is Maghrib because it's like the end of the African, right? It's called Maghrib, West Maghrib, Morocco. وثالثة سورية, and there was a third Syrian dialect. وهكذا, and so on, and so on. So many dialects came. Like every country has their own dialect almost, right? Uh, like you have Misr and Sudani, and you go to Jazair, Mauritania is, they speak in totally different language. Darija, it's called, various languages. You have to learn, like, so Arabic now became into several languages, and it's very difficult to understand, very difficult to study. I tried a lot, but very difficult to study the dialects now because there's no rule at all. You just have to memorize. I mean, in Fusha there are rules, and you can make sentences and so on. In dialect there are rules, but you have to memorize a lot. This is like amamak, they say qiddamak, and so on, and sah wala la, it's right. So isn't it, they say a lot. So instead of anta, they say anti for all of them in various dialects, right? Even if it's a male, they say anti, anti ya sheikh. So وهكذا. And so there was several dialects. وقد أدى هذا إلى تفرق العرب. أدى يؤدي, lead to, I guess. أدى يؤدي, yeah, led to. أدى, led to. Result, the result was إلى تفرق العرب. The Arab became, تفرق, يتفرق is to divided. They became divided. وبعد بعضهم عن بعض, and بعد is distance, far away. They became, and it increased the distance from each other, from each other. بعضهم عن بعض, يعني from some of them from the others. بعد, you could say, yeah, بعد is far away, or what do you say, distance, which بعضهم عن بعض. بعد, it's not bad, this. And then بحيث إذا سافر, and so the distance between them increased a lot. They became very alienated. بحيث إذا سافر العربي من بلده إلى بلد عربي آخر, such an, I mean, to that extent, you could say بحيث, to that extent, right? حيث means wherever. اتق الله حيث ما كنت. So بحيث, in which, or right? You could say where. Yeah, بحيث you could translate as where. إذا سافر العربي, because حيث means wherever. So بحيث could be where. Where إذا سافر العربي, if an Arab person travel from his country من بلده إلى بلد آخر عربي آخر, to another Arabic country, وجد بعض الصعوبة في الاتصال بأهل ذلك البلد. He found some difficulty. صعوبة is difficulty. صعب في الاتصال, in communicating بأهل ذلك البلد, with the people of that country. إذا تحدثوا بلهجاتهم, when they speak. تحدث يتحدث, تحدث form 5, when they speak in their dialects. ولا يتحقق الاتصال التام بينه وبينهم, and complete اتصال التام, complete communication is not realized, I could say. تحقق, يتحقق, yeah, yeah, you could say, uh, is not realized, or it's not, uh, the connection is not there, the complete connection, he's not able to completely connect with those people, right? Is not achieved, yeah, you could say achieved. بينه وبينهم, right? You cannot completely match with them, إلا إذا كان الحديث باللغة العربية الفصيحة, except that if the speech is in لغة العربية الفصيحة, the classical Arabic language, right? Because they speak their language, he'll speak another language, dialect, I mean, and they have become so different that it's almost in another language many times. The more far you go in the African countries and so on, the more difficult, you have to learn them separately, because they use various words, and the words have merged into one word. اختلف الأمر اليوم. But we have some hope, alhamdulillah. The matter is different today. فضعفت اللهجات. The dialects have become weakened. Right? ضعف يضعف باب كرمة. The ضعف is become weak. اللهجات. The dialects have become weak. وقويت اللغة العربية, قوية يقوى, to be strong. وقويت اللغة العربية, قويت because لغة is مؤنث, وقويت اللغة العربية الفصيحة. So the Arabic language, فصحى Arabic language became strong. قوية يقوى, like نسي ينسى. ناقص, this is a weak letter, weak verb. بسبب التعليم ووسائل الاتصال الحديثة, because of education and the means of modern communication, like media and so on. In the media, they use MSA, Modern Standard Arabic, which is close to the Fusha, right? Which is close to the Fusha. Although they use a lot of new terms because of the modern politics and so on and so on, but they're a little close to the Fusha, classical language. So the media uses the MSA. وسائل is the means اتصال, communication. الحديثة, the modern, the new, right? The modern means of communication. وأصبحت العربية لغة عالمية مرة ثانية. And the Arabic language has again become a global language, مرة ثانية, again, right? Once again. ثانية is second time. كالإنجليزية, like English, right? والفرنسية, and French. والإسبانية, and Spanish, right? So alhamdulillah, now a person who's educated, because education has become so common, they are taught Fusha, right? In any, if you go to Spain schools, if you go to Jordan schools, if you go to Qatari schools, or Hijazi schools, whatever, right? All of them, most of them, alhamdulillah, they teach the Fusha language. So even if he speaks in his dialect at his home, he's able to communicate with each other. So you have this Muslim leagues, and these leagues of Muslim countries, they speak in Fusha mostly. Mostly they speak in Fusha. and they have this Muslim World League, right? And the Muslim Youth League and so on. There's so many groups of the Muslim countries. They speak in Fusha in the meetings اجتماعات. فهي إحدى اللغات الرسمية في هيئة الأمم المتحدة. And it is one of the لغات الرسمية, um, you could say official languages. لغات الرسمية, official language. Yeah, official. رسمية. رسمي is official way of doing something. We say it in Urdu also. He's doing just for rasmi. He's just officially doing it. I mean, for namesake. So this is one of the official language في هيئة الأمم المتحدة. هيئة, uh, uh, United Nations. Everything means United. Umam al Muttahida means United Nations. Hay'a could be like organization, or right. Yeah, United Nations, UNO, right? Body. Hay'a actually means body. So organization. So Umam al Muttahida. Ummatun, plural is Umam, nations, Muttahida, united. So it's like United Nations organization. Reverse, huh? Because adjectives come later on, right? So وهي اللغة السادسة في العالم, and it is the sixth language in the world, right? It is the sixth language سادسة. يتحدث بها أكثر من 200 million, right? 200 مليون عربي. uh, more than 200 million people speak عربي, Arabic. ويؤدي العبادات بها أكثر من مليار مسلم. And عبادات أدى يؤدي, and it lead to, يؤدي could be, it leads to يؤدي العبادات. عبادات is worship. So the worship leads to بها أكثر من مليار مسلم, more than a million Muslims. I don't know what he means where. يؤدي العبادات. Or does he mean the acts? Or okay. Um, so this is the file, I think. So أكثر من مليار Muslim, more than a million Muslims perform ibadat in it. Right? This is correct, yeah. Because the file comes late, so it's confusing. This is ibadati on kasra, no? So it cannot be the file. This is the object, because ibadah maful, right? So this is the file. أكثر من مليار Muslim, more than a million Muslims perform their worship in it. No? Okay. Okay. More than a million Muslims. So 200 million speak about it, and milliard is not million, right? It's billion, right? More than a billion Muslims. Huh? Million is million. Milliard is billion. More than a billion Muslims perform their worship in it. السياب comprehension. التدريب دعا علامة الصحيحة أمام العبادة الصحيحة تحت العربية في الماضي أو الحاضر. No? So, does it happen in the past, or does it happen in the present? Right? You have to put it here. نعم. You have to put it here. لغة عالمية. اللغة العربية في الماضي، اللغة العربية في الحاضر. Both, right? Okay. لغة عالمية. It's a global language. He says it was in the past also. Or maybe this past means relative past. So maybe not the Asr Abbasi. So maybe في الحاضر. This is correct. ترجمت إليها كتب من اليونانية. Greek books were translated into it. So في الماضي. This is correct. Let me. So we can do maybe this and this. يتحدث بها أكثر من 200 مليون عربي. This is it today. Right? More than 200 million people speak the language. حملت العلوم إلى أوروبا. And they carried the sciences to Europe. It happened in the past. Right? It happened in the past. ضعفت اللهجات في الحاضر. Right? لغة رسمية, official language في الحاضر again. قوية العربية الفصيحة. The Fusha language became strong. Yeah, harder also, because in the Madi it was already strong. اوكي. الله اعلم. نعم. التدريب الثاني دع علامة الصحية بجانب الفكرة الرئيسية في كل فقرة. So the central idea in each paragraph. الفكرة الرئيسية في الفقرة الأولى, the central idea in the first para is العربية لغة الحضارة في الماضي. العربية أساس الحضارة الغربية. Right? I read it wrong. ألف العلماء في الطب باللغة العربية. Which one? I think first one. The Arabic was the language of the civilization in the past. The Arabic was the foundation of the. No, this is not a central idea. Yeah, one. Because Gharbiya, not the Western civilization. Allah fal ulama fi tibbi. Yeah, this is not the central idea. The central is this. العربية لغة الحضارة في الماضي. Right? The civilizational language, you could say. الفكرة الرئيسية رئيسية رئيسة. It's actually رئيسة. I'm reading it as رئيسية. الفكرة الرئيسة في الفقرة الثانية في الفقرة الثانية أصول الضعف. الاستعمار شجع اللهجات. ضعف اللغة العربية. I think this we a period of weakness, not total weakness. He's just talking about the language. So maybe the ضعف اللغة العربية. ضعف is weakness of Arabic language. This is the main topic in the second. Istamar, colonization encouraged dialect. That's true, but that's not the central idea. This was the central idea. الفكرة الرئيسة في الفقرة الثالثة. فكرة is idea. فقرة is paragraph. In the third paragraph, وسائل الاتصال الحديثة, the modern communication means of modern communication. اللغات الرسمية في الأمم المتحدة, the official languages United Nations. No. This is the central idea. قويت اللغة العربية وأصبحت عالمية. Arabic language became strong. قوية وأصبحت عالمية, and it became again عالمية, uh, global language. التدريب الأول. هاتي جمع كلمات التالية من النص ثم استعملها في جمل من إنشائك. Right? You have to give the plurals of these words from the text and then make sentences with it. Amrun. What's the plural of amr? Anyone? Amr, matter. Anyone knows what's the plural of amr? Matter, command. Umur, correct, sahih. Any sentence, umur. Matters. أمور الآخرة أهم من أمور الدنيا. Right? The matters of hereafter are more important than the matters of the world. Maybe some sentence. Okay. Next, umur, you can say. Ummatun. Ummatun was the plural. We had it in the lesson, all these things. Ummatun. Is it ummatun? You see around that? No, it's not ummatun. Amrun, umurun. Huh? Ummahat. No. that is for mother. Ummahat is for mothers. The plural of umma is umam. Right? Umamun. Umma is umma, right? So uh, you translate as umam, the all of the ummas. Where is ummas? Any sentence? We see it in the hadith. Uh, عُرِضَتْ عَلَيَّ الْأُمَمْ. The Prophet ﷺ said, عُرِضَتْ عَلَيَّ الْأُمَمْ. Right? All the people were presented to me. And then he saw one prophet walking alone, and he saw one follower of the prophet, and he saw his ummah, they filled the horizon, right? So he was shown all the all the groups of people, all the ummas were shown to him. Hmm. Naam. Umam. Next, Arabiyun. What's the plural of Arabi? Very easy. This one is Arab. Naam, Arab. Right? Arabiyun. Arab. So this that is called yaun nisba. Nisba. So Arab, Arabiyun. Pakistan, Pakistaniyun. But this is not actually a yaun nisba. This is called ya of singular. Singular. Right? Because, okay, we'll learn in book 3. I mean, Madina book 3 will come this one. Then Asrun. 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 Usur. Yeah, Usur. You have to make a sentence with Arabi or Arab. Wailul lil Arab. It comes in the hadith, right? Asrun, Usur. Periods. الاستعمار انتشرت في 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 or maybe not استعمار. We could say العصور العباسية هي وقت ازدهار حضارة الإسلامية. The periods of the Abbasid periods or Abbasid's time was the Usul al Abbasid. Or Asrul Abbasi is also fine actually. We can say Asrul Abbasi was the time ازدهر فيه لغة العربية وحضارة الإسلامية. نعم. عالم علماء. العلماء ورثة الأنبياء. علماء the Anbiya's waris, successors, what do you say, inheritors. علم. What is علم plural? علم. علوم. نعم علوم. علم علوم. اللغة العربية فيها علوم كثيرة مثل النحو والصرف وهكذا وبلاغة. التدريب الثاني كون جملة مناسبة من كل كلمتين. We have to make a proper sentence again. يحارب الاستعمار. I will make the same sentence for keep it easy. الاستعمار يحارب الاستعمار اللغة العربية والثقافة الإسلامية. The colonization waged the war against Arabic language and the Islamic civilization or Islamic culture. ابتعد دين. ابتعد كثير من المسلمين عن دينهم. Many Muslims have gone away from the religion. هجر اللغة. وهجروا من اللغة العربية الفصيحة. And they uh, migrated. Hajara is to leave, yeah? Mm. To migrate, to leave it totally from Arabic language فصيحة. ألف العلماء كتبا كثيرة في اللغة العربية. Many scholars have written a lot of books in Arabic language. ترجمة قصة. Um, he translated a qissa. Uh, ترجمة قصة كليلة ودمنة من Sanskrit إلى Arabic. Right? Kalila wa Dimna, the story which became famous in Arabic, it came from Sanskrit. Right? The story of animals and so on and so on. But it became famous in Arabic. Kalila wa Dimna. تزدهر العلوم. ازدهر يزدهر. تزدهر علوم. Sciences uh, flourished. تزدهر العلوم في وقت الحاضر. Right? The sciences. علوم could be translated as علms plural علوم, but we can say sciences also. Okay. نعم. ملاحظة النحوية النعت والصفة. Like in Arabic, the nat and the sifa comes after the man'ut, after the word being described. And natu or sifa, it could be the same thing. Ismun yasifu ma qablahu. Wasafa yasifu, misal. It's a noun which describes which comes before it. وَيَتْبَعُهُ فِي عِرَابِهِ, and it follows in the i'rab. So if it is marfu, marfu, mansub, mansub, majrur, majrur, right? Like waladun tawilun, waladan tawilan, waladin tawilin, al waladu tawilu, al waladat tawila, al waladit tawili, or bintun tawilatun, al bintu tawilatu, and so on. It copies in four things, yeah. In ma'rifa nakira, if it's alif lam, tanween, tanween. Second, it copies in the Arab, right? Marfu, marfu, majur, majur, and so on. Third, it copies in gender, masculine, masculine, feminine, feminine. Fourth, it copies in singular, singular, the number, right? Singular, singular, dual, dual, plural, plural, and so on. So everything it copies. These are called tawabi', the followers which follow the previous words. أدرس ولاحظ أعتقد أنك طالبة جديدة. I believe that you are a new student. اعتقد يعتقد, I believe that you are a new student. So nats, right? صفة, موصوف صفة. هل درست اللغة العربية? Again an adjective. So we'll translate the adjectives first, because the adjectives in English, they come first. Did you study Arabic language? See, Arabic language. New student. لماذا تدرسينها مرة ثانية? Why are you studying it again once, second time? مرة ثانية. Second time. تدرسين, we are speaking to a girl, so تدرس تدرسين. هناك تدريبات صوتية. There are oral exercises. صوتية is oral. The صوتية, right? Sound. Oral exercises. تدريبات exercises. تدريب. تمرين. احفظي جزءا من القرآن الكريم. Memorize a portion, a juz from the Quran al-Karim, the noble Quran. احفظي بعض الأحاديث النبوية. Memorize some of the prophetic ahadith. هذه نصيحة مفيدة. This is a beneficial advice. All these are red ones are what? Nat, nat, nat. So we are translating these first. هذا قطار سريع. This is a quick train. Quick or fast train. Huh? سريع is fast or quick. Okay. ضع خطا تحت النعت كما في المثال. Okay, we need to put underline the uh, nat. ستجد العمل المناسب. You will find the appropriate work. So مناسب is the nat. مراحل التعليم في كثير من الدول العربية 40. And the stages of education in a lot of Arabic countries are 4. So where's the nat? Where is the nat? Arabiyya, correct. Anything with right. So this is يلتحق الطلاب بالمرحلة الثانوية. The طلاب join this second ثانوية is secondary level. So ثانوية is the nat, all right? Secondary. Anything which matches, right? That is the adjective. Adjective. كانت حضارة المسلمين حضارة عظيمة. Right? The Muslim civilization was a great civilization. عظيمة. So عظيمة, right? Not great civilization. هناك اختلافات كثيرة بين التعليم في الماضي والحاضر. There were a lot of differences between education in the past and the present. So where's the nat here? Asifa. كثير. نعم. نعم. Yeah, for the Umam, I'm reading a hadith here. Um, أن نملة قرست نبيا من الأنبياء. Right? An ant had bitten one of the prophets of the earlier prophets, and he ordered that the colony of ants should be burnt. Right? He ordered that the whole colony of the ants should be animal rights in Islam. Right? And so Allah revealed to him, uh, فأوحى الله إليه أن في قرستك نملة أهلكت أمة من الأمم تسبح. And because of an ant's bite, you have burnt a community from amongst the community which sings my glory. Right? I mean, the ants, all of them, they sing glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, so, we should not just burn the colony of ants. Now, because of one ant. Subhanallah. يتعلم الطالب في بيته عن طريق the word here عن طريق الشبكة الدولية. The student studies in his house through the way of tariq, through the way of shabaka is the web. Dawliya. Dawliya is, it's not duwaliya, it's dawliya. International web, internet, it means world wide web, you could say. Yeah. So dawliya is the shabaka, is the nat. استفاد الغرب من العلوم الإسلامية. الغرب, the West. استفاد يستفيد from 10 is to benefit. Islamia, from the West benefited from the Islamic sciences. التدريب الثاني يختار النعت المناسب مما بين كما في المثال. You have to choose an appropriate نعت here. أدرس اللغة العربية. So which one? I study Arabic language. أعتقد أنك معلمة جديدة. الجديدة جديد. Which one? 1, 2, 3. I think you are a new teacher, new معلمة, lecturer, you can say. جديدة الجديدة جديد. Which one will come here? 1. نعم. No alif lam, no alif lam. Correct. صحيح. هذه قصص مفيد. المفيدة مفيدة. Careful with this one. Singular is قصة. قصص is a plural. These are beneficial stories. 3. Correct. نعم. كل جمع لغير عاقل مؤنث. All plurals of غير عاقل is feminine. So not مفيد is جمع. غير عاقل جمع. احفظ كثيرا من الحديث نبوي. نبوية نبوية. نبوي نبوية نبوية. One, I think it's one, yes. Nabawi, because it's one hadith. A hadith he didn't say. Naam. If it was hadith, maybe this one. A hadith in Nabawiyyati. لن أذهب إلى بلاد. I will never go to a strange country. غريب الغريب غريبة. To strange countries. Bilad, not balad. Naam, 3, correct. Salas. ستجد الكتاب إن شاء الله المناسبة مناسبة. You will find an appropriate book, inshallah. Suitable book. Very easy, huh? This is books one stuff. Madina book one stuff. في المختبر تدريبات. الجيدة جيد جيدة. In the lab you have exercises, good exercises. الجيدة جيد جيدة. ثالث. نعم. تدريبات مؤنث, right? Anyways غير عقل plural, so جيدة. تدريبات جيدة. التدريب الثالث دع نعتا للاسم الذي تحته خط كما في المثال. We need to bring a نعت. جاء العامل النشيط مبكرا. The active worker came early. صدق الله العظيم. Allah, صدق الله العظيم. الله العظيم said the truth. زرت المدينة المنورة. I visit Madinah Munawwara. These are all nats, right? صليت في المسجد النبوي. I prayed in the prophetic mosque. صلى إبراهيم في الكعبة. في الكعبة. What we can say? We can bring an adjective. في الكعبة المشرفة. Something like that. Huh? صلى إبراهيم في الكعبة العتيق. كعبة المنورة, no, for Medina Munawwara is fine. كعبة العتيق, في بيت العتيق actually it is, not كعبة. قرأ كعبة المشرفة مكرمة, anything. The noble Kaaba. قرأت القرآن الكريم. اقرأ الأحاديث نبوية. نعم. تدريب الرابع. اختر النعت المناسبة من الصندوق. Choose the appropriate nat from the صندوق, from the box. أقيم في فندق قريب. I stayed. أقام يقيم is to stay. I stayed in a close hotel. أشعر بألم شديد. I feel severe pain. هذا هو التقرير. This is التقرير الطبي. Right? This is a medical announcement. What do you say, تقرير? Medical طبي. Medical certificate. تقرير certificate. نعم, we learned this, right? تقرير طبي. إقرار is to declare, but here it means medical report. Yeah, the report is correct. The report is correct, not certificate, medical report. نعم, تقرير, medical report. أنا موافق. هذه فكرة طيبة. I agree. I'm in agreement. This is a good idea. سأسافر بالطائرة السعودية. I will travel by Saudi Airlines, Saudi plane. تدريب الخامس. اقرأ الآيات التالية ثم حدد النعت فيها. You have to find the nat in the verses. من شر الوسواس الخناس. Right? So the nat is خناس. From the waswas, whisperings of khannas. Khannas is the one who whispers and then goes away. The iblis and min al jinnati wan nas, from the people and the jinn. The khannas. Khannas is the nat. No, sorry. Astaghfir. Yeah, min shar al waswas al khannas. Min shar al waswas al khannas. Khannas is the nam. Nam shar al waswas. Correct. Khannas is the nat. Nam. Yeah, I thought this is mudaf nafla, but there's an alif. The waswas is the one who whispers, and khannas is the retreating whisperer, the one who goes back after whispering. Alif lam ra. Tilka ayatul kitab al mubin. Alif lam ra mubin. Correct. Those. But for ayat you can say these, or right, these. Like ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. This is للتعظيم. تلك آيات. Those are the kitab al mubin. Mubin, the clear book, right? Quran is a clear book. The verses of the clear book. تلك آيات الكتاب المبين. إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. Indeed, the prayer on the believers, right? It's كتابا موقوتا. It's an obligation. Kitab is not a book here. It's an obligation. Mawquta is on time. So you could say timely obligation. Mawqutan, yeah. Kitab is also a command, right? Kataba shay. That means he wrote something. That means he ordered something. Amara shay. Kitab. Kitab mawquta. It's not a book, timely book. It is kitab. Amram mawqut. Wattur wa kitab mastur. Wattur wa kitab mastur. Mastur is the nats. What does mastur mean? Written book? I forgot. I don't know actually. كتاب مسطور ورق منشور. طور. Written, yes. Mastur is written. Written book. وفي رق منشور. On open pages for all to read. فيها كتب قيمة. قيمة, balanced, orderly. So قيمة is the Surah al-Bayyinah now. This is an art. قالت يا أيها الملأ يا أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم. This is in Surah Saba, I guess. Oh, Mala is the group of people. Oh, chiefs. Inni ulqiya ilayya. Indeed, I uh, ulqiya ilayya. Alqa yulqi is to throw, but here it means it was sent to me. It was sent to me, Kitabun Kareem, a noble book. But it doesn't mean book here. Sulaiman alayhi salam wrote a letter here. Ilayya Kitabun Kareem. Ulqiya ilayya. So Hudhud the bird went and gave to Saba, uh, uh, the Malika, the queen of Saba. Yasin, so Kitabun Kareemun, a noble letter. Yasin wal Quran al Hakim. Hakim, the wise book, the wise Quran. نعم. تعبير موجه التدريب الأول هل توافق أم لا ولماذا نشاط صناعي so dual exercise اكتب اكتب رأيك في كل مرة write your opinion every time right رأيك right so this is like expression test kind of your composition skills تعبير موجه directed موجه means directed expressions something that يجب أن تكون لجميع الناس في العالم لغة واحدة. It is mandatory for all the people in the world that they should have one language. Is it? Do you agree or not? Right? هل توافقوا أم لا? Should they have one language or not? Right? قوى القرآن الكريم اللغة العربية وحفظها. وحفظها it should have been I guess. Oh, okay. Quran protected it. Yeah, حفظها. Correct. Quran al-Kareem protected, قوى strengthened the Arabic language and protected it. Correct, Sahih. I mean, I agree. Obviously, يجب أن يتعلم كل مسلم اللغة العربية. Right? All people should learn Arabic language. التدريب الثاني اكتب موضوعا مستعينا بالنصين الواردين في هذه الوحدة العربية الفصيحة وأثرها العربية لغة عالمية بعنوان اللغة العربية. You should write a paragraph, right, about اللغة العربية in this about this unit about its effect of Arabic language and so on and so on. التدريب الثالث اكتب موضوعا بعنوان كيف تتعلم لغة غير لغتك. Right? Write a paragraph on موضوعا how should you study a language which is not your language. اكتب موضوعات عن اللغات واللهجات في بلدك. Write about the language and your dialects in your country. استعين بالأفكار التالية. Use the following ideas: عدد اللغات, the number of languages; عدد اللهجات, the number of dialects; الفرق بين اللغة واللهجة, what is the difference between a language and a dialect; الخط, you have to write هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. همزة الوصل, right? Writing rule of همزة الوصل ترسم همزة الوصل ألفا سواء نطقت, right? همزة Hamzatul Wasl is written like an alif, سواء نطقت أم لا تنطق, even though it's pronounced or not pronounced. وسواء كانت حركتها الكسرة أم الفتحة أم الضمة. Right? Uh, uh, even if it's حركة is كسرة or فتحة or ضمة. وتحذف همزة المسبوقة بلام الجر. And its hamza is removed المسبوقة بلام الجر, right? Which has the lamul jar. So if lamul jar comes, you drop the hamza. You like lit tabibi. You don't. He gives the examples anyways. So the first one ismun. We don't write with this hamza, right? So if it is a fatha, dhamma, kasra, whatever, you don't write this hamza. Wrong, wrong. Was sawabu, and the correct is ismun, right? Correct is ismun. Mm, Ismun with we don't write like this, huh? Because ismun and ibnun are hamzatul wasl. Right? Imra'atuhu. This is also not wrong. Wasawabu imra'atuhu. Like this, huh? Wasl is written like Udukhul. No, fail amr also. For the three-letter verb, the fail amr is starting with a hamzatul wasl. Udukhul, not with a hamza. No, wrong. Wasawab. Udkhul. Correct is udkhul. Like this. Masmuka. Right? He gives example. Masmuka. Lillahil mulku. Lillahil mulku. See, al mulk. Hamzatul wasl. What is your name? Wamra'atuhu qa'imatun. And his wife stood. It comes in the Quran. Wamra'atuhu. So you're writing, even though you're not pronouncing it, right? You're writing it. Lishamsi fawaidun. See, lishamsi. See, the hamza is gone. Because if lamul jar comes before the alif lam, you drop the hamza. You cannot write like this. Lishamsi qa'imun. No, this is wrong. You have to drop it. Lishamsi qa'imun. Right? Only for lamul jar. Harfu jar. Fawaidu. For the sun, there are benefits. Udukhul. This is wrong again, right? Asra wa dukhul. See, asra, this is form 4. For form 4, we have the hamzatul qata. What is hamzatul qata? The hamza with a small hamza. All right. But this is a hamzatul wasl. It's written like an alif. All right. What is the difference between hamza and alif? We learned, right? Alif is never in the beginning of a sentence, in a word. It never starts. That is not called an alif. It's a hamza. It's a hamzatul wasl. وَدُخُلْ فِي الصِّيَامِ أَجْرٌ لِلصَّائِمِينَ. See, ajrun has a hamza. So 90% of the time you have to assume that the hamza which starts is a hamzatul qata. 90% of the time it is this. You have to assume this. Unless and until you know, like ismun doesn't have that, imratuhu doesn't have, or amr doesn't have. Unless and until you know, you have to write like this. That's what a general rule is. Like ajr, you might get a doubt. Is it hamzatul wasl or qata? No, 90% put a qata. Okay. Like America, it's qata. Obviously. Because we never learned that it is hamzatul wasl. So exceptionals are wasl. Alif lam is obviously wasl, right? It's not qata. تدريب صحيح الخطأ الإملائية فيما يلي. Right? Imla is the writing errors. Salla ibni. See, this is wrong. Ibn has a wasl. This is wrong. Az-Zuhra. Sallabni az-Zuhra. My son prayed Zuhr. Masmuka. This is wrong again, right? Khata. Istami'. Istama yastami'u. From 10, it doesn't have qata. Istawaha. This is also wrong. All qata. Izhab ya Muhammad. Wrong. No. If wasl, wasl. All should be wasl. Ana. Oh, ana has a qata. Ana. Ana. Adrusu. This is wrong again. I study a lot. Uhdur ya Muhammad. This is wrong again. Oh, alif lam. This is wrong again. Al bintu tabibatun. The girl is a doctor. So alif lam. Right? Now, alhamdulillah, we finished. Alhamdulillah, we have the next unit. Inshallah, next class. Al jawaiz presents gifts. Nam al farhatu bil jawaiz. Inshallah, we'll continue. Inshallah, maybe next week or number 5. Which one? Izhab. This is wrong. No, izhab. This is amr for 3 letters. Zahaba yazhabu izhab. No hamzatul qata. Naam. Okay. Barakallahu feekum. Subhan. Maybe we'll not have class next week and the week after that. I'll see inshallah. Barakallah. I have exams. So inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.